60 earthquakes strike Yellowstone. Scientists warn that this supervolcano may blow any day now. This is Yellowstone's last explosion. The map indicating 640,000 years ago, the Lava Creek ash bed. As you can see, it takes in about 2/3 of the whole continental United States. An unusually large number of powerful earthquakes have struck Yellowstone in the last 48 hours, causing scientists to fear that the supervolcano is about to erupt. According to the USGS, the U.S. Geological Survey, over 60 earthquakes struck the area with magnitudes of up to 5.0 on Friday. Scientists warn that the supervolcano, which is long overdue for an eruption, may be about to blow, which would wipe out large numbers of human, animal, and plant life across the United States. IntelliHub reports scientists believe that currently there's a 10% chance that the supervolcano Category 7 eruption could take place this century, as pointed out by theoretical physicist Michio Kaku, who appeared on a segment of Fox News. You can see the embedded video here in this article I'll leave below for you. He told Shepard Smith that the danger, quote-unquote, that we are now facing with the Yellowstone caldera is that it's long overdue for an eruption. And as Kaku explains what would be the effects of this, it would rip the guts out of the United States. Kaku said that a pocket of lava located under the park has turned out to be twice as big as scientists originally thought. Twice as big. Scientists concur that the last eruption of the caldera took place some 640,000 years ago. The U.S. is currently under contract with at least 4 countries, all of which have agreed to house displaced U.S. citizens in the unfortunate event that Yellowstone supervolcano were to erupt. Yes, did you know that? The U.S. has an agreement with 4 foreign countries to accept U.S. citizens displaced by this disaster. So looking at this map, you can only wonder what that means for Americans. Hundreds of billions of dollars were paid to foreign governments to facilitate this agreement, which spans from an article I authorized in April of 2004 titled, quote, Report, Brazil, Argentina, and Australia signed contracts worth hundreds of billions of dollars to house displaced U.S. populace once Yellowstone supervolcano erupts. My question here is, who are the people that will be moved to these countries? Do you know if you're on that list? Do I know if I'm on that list? Who is on that list? That's the next question. Now, the report titled April 2014, Brazil, Argentina, Australia signed contracts worth hundreds of billions of dollars to house displaced U.S. populace when Yellowstone supervolcano erupts, reads thus: the U.S. plan for relocation was formulated after a recent scientific analysis of the park revealed that Yellowstone's supervolcano has the potential to violently erupt within the next 10 years, as noted by others, including the famous astrophysicist Michio Kaku. In fact, Prague, a Pakistani publication, recently reported this, quote, it may take up to 10 years for pressure in the magma chamber of the supervolcano to build, according to Dr. Jean-Philippe Perilat of the National Center for Scientific Research in Grenoble, France. Quote, it is the difference in destiny between the molten magma in the caldera and the surrounding rock big enough for the magma from the chamber to the surface to increase, end quote. The effects is the same as the extra buoyancy of a soccer ball underwater filled with air, after which it rises to the surface because the surrounding water poet. If the magma volume is large enough, it should go to the surface to rise and explode like a champagne bottle that Antwerp be. This is what Dr. Perilat explains. It's like a cork of a champagne bottle exploding out of the bottle. That's what's going to happen with this magma chamber. According to Dr. Sifo Mathetwe, the South African government, quote, sympathy for the American challenge to Yellowstone, but we have our own challenges in South Africa. There are 200 million white people in America, and if too many of them to South Africa flights, it is a big problem. Even though there is enough housing and infrastructure available, it will destabilize the country and may even bring back apartheid. South Africa is not for sale, end quote. So you can see that here it's a racial problem. They don't want more whites in South Africa because then the whites will be the dominant race there, and they do not want that. So, however, according to the report, Brazil, Argentina, and Australia jumped on the bandwagon, accepting the request from Washington. The calm before the storm started a few weeks back when researchers noticed a downtick in seismic activity before Friday's swarm struck. Earthquake expert Dutch Sense chimed on Yellowstone in a video he posted YouTube on June 15th, and it's also embedded in this article. You can see that as well. One day before the swarm occurred, to warn of future activity in the area. So this is shocking. Did you know that the United States had an agreement to take us to 4 foreign countries? And I would like to know who is on that list.
Yellowstone. Yes, magnitude earthquake recorded in Yellowstone National Park in the evening last night, but it's been followed by several earthquakes, including a 2.7 all the way to 3.1. Here's the whole thing. It's very shallow, very, very shallow. Let me give you an update now what's been going on. If you guys remember, 2 days ago, I noticed that there was a 3.7 or so earthquake in Yellowstone there in Montana. And I said, I don't like it. I don't like it. And there was a couple more smaller aftershocks. I kept saying, I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't let this super volcano open up and awake. Here's what's happened in the last 24 hours. All right. Now, there's been several quakes. Some of them 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.5 in Fiji. We understand these areas, 4.6 the Philippines, 4.5 Papua New Guinea, 4.2 in Chile, 4.5. This is when it happened. Yellowstone last night, around 6:48 p.m. Mountain Time. Here we go. A 4.5 jolt in Yellowstone National Park, followed by a 2.7. 4.5 earthquake that hit Yellowstone in Montana was only 9.4 kilometers deep, followed by a 2.7, then another 2.6, then a 3.1. All of these earthquakes taking place within about a 3-minute period. Then the Philippines had a 4.9, and then here goes Yellowstone, 2.9. And then Arkansas, Harrison, Arkansas then must have felt the jolt, because then Harrison, Arkansas had a quake of 2.9. Then Washington State, over just not too far from the Yellowstone area, had a 3.6. Then we kept going and kept studying what was going on. Alaska had a couple quakes. We had a 4.2 in El Salvador, and a 2.9 in Ferndale, California, 3.3 in Ferndale, California, a 4.3 in Argentina, a 4.7 in Papua New Guinea. Alaska had a couple more quakes of 3.6 and 2.7, and then it happened again. Yellowstone, powerful 2.8, again very shallow. Alaska with a 2.9, Chile with a 4.4, and then Yellowstone just a few minutes ago, a 2.7. So we continue to see these quakes. They're not slowing down, folks. Yellowstone National Park, Montana, Yellowstone, Montana is where this quake epicenter is, and the aftershocks continue. And remember, we're dealing here with a super volcano with the potential, and scientists say when it goes. And who knows, that could be what? 100 years from now? 100 days from now? No guarantees on this thing. But it is a massive super volcano that is so large that it would literally destroy the northwest portion of the United States and part of southwestern Canada. That would just be from the initial eruption and the shock waves and the fire and the brimstone, the smoke and the ash would really send the United States and Canada into a dark winter for about 3 years. Vegetation would start dying. You have to understand, we're talking about a cataclysmic, apocalyptic, nearly extinction of this side of the hemisphere. So this is not nothing to play with. And if you're having a 4.5 earthquake followed by a lot of aftershocks right there, you got to watch it. And I said this 2 days ago. Now, I'm not a seismologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not a climatologist. I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not an ophthalmologist or even a cardiologist. But I am I've been watching what's going on. How's that? A country preacher in the cornfields of Indiana. I can just tell you, I know what the Bible says. From eschatology is concerned, these are the types of events that the Bible spoke of. Great earthquakes. And you have to understand, don't forget Pastor Dr. K.D. Collin. Dr. K.D. Collin of Harvest Army. He has prophesied of a great earthquake coming upon America. And this is not a man that just blows smoke. And he's had an unbelievable amount of prophecies come true, incredibly. All over the world, he has been able to, God has revealed to him earthquakes and different types of things. So we're going to watch very closely. He didn't say when, he didn't say where, but I think we should be aware that we're living in the last days. Now, forget that. If you don't believe the science and if you don't believe the prophecies, then take the Bible. And Jesus said in the last days there would be earthquakes in diverse places. All right? Even a great shaking in the heavens and on the earth. Now, if you don't believe the Bible and you don't believe the science and you don't believe the prophecies of the prophets like Katie Collins, then I guess it'll take sight to completely cure the blind. Give your life to Jesus Christ. That might be too late, though.